Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live launch event Research 3 Neo with Eppendorf. We are glad you could join us today. I am Isabel Garcia, Commercial Communication Specialist from Fisher Scientific, part of Thermo Fisher Scientific, and together with Eppendorf, we are going to uncover the highlights of the new Pipette Research 3 Neo. Please note this session is being recorded and will be available later on our website. Now I'd like to hand over to my colleague Eva, who will explain how the Q&A session will work.
Thank you, Isabel. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to today's webinar. My name is Eva Albertsson, and I will guide you through the Q&A session after the presentation. You can ask questions at any time during the webinar. Please use the chat function and just type your question on the right side of your screen. Our two presenters from Eppendorf, Dr. Ulrike Gast and Azer Bolte, will answer them during the question and answer session after the live demo.
So, hello everyone, and thank you for this nice introduction to Isabel and Eva. I am Azer Bolte. I am a commercial product manager at Eppendorf for my new liquid handling portfolio and across EMEA region. And now today I'm here together with Ulrike Gast, who is responsible also for my new liquid handling portfolio at Eppendorf. Hi Ulrike.
Hi Azer, thank you for having me here, and good morning to everyone. I'm really excited to show you something which is getting a lot of buzz in the labs everywhere.
Okay, that sounds very interesting and exciting, Ulrike. But before we go to and dive into the detail of the new product, I have one question to you. So we have already in our portfolio Research Plus and reference to pipettes, which they are really good. But can you tell us why did we have a new pipette?
That's a great place to start. Thank you, Azer. Yeah, you are completely right. Our pipettes are still top notch. That's at least what customers tell us. But even these products can be improved. And we listened to our pipette users, and they came up with some valuable feedback, which we then validated in systematic surveys.
Okay, which feedback do you mean?
So first of all, people wanted a faster volume setting, which is really understandable if you take into account how many times throughout a workflow you change the volume. And especially when you have to switch between very different volumes, a faster volume setting can be quite beneficial.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. And what else can you tell us?
So secondly, people were asking for an easier and one-handed operation. And I mean, we all know these situations where you simply don't have both hands free at the bench, right?
Yeah, that's really true, because I heard from a lot of customers that actually when they are busy in the lab and when they have a pipette, only can manage with one-handed operation, which makes them very easier and comfortable.
Yeah, right. But then you also probably came across how important ergonomics is. And we discovered that especially people with smaller hands wish for better solutions. And finally, with the labs getting busier and more collaborative, there was a real need for a better identification of pipettes.
Okay, then what did you do differently in Research 3 Neo to solve those challenges, basically?
Well, to say it again, the existing pipettes we have are still state of the art, and they will stay available. But we wanted to rethink the pipetting experience. And for this reason, the Research 3 Neo comes with some smart new features. And first of all, I would like to point out the volume gear shift, which lets you choose between fast and easy modes for the volume selection. Then we see that we have a shorter control button up here, which is also having a larger space for your fingertip. And we have integrated a volume lock to prevent accidental volume changes. And finally, there is an improved temporary adjustment function.
Wow, it sounds like there are a lot of new features, Ulrike. But let's start talking about first the volume gear shift. Because it sounds to me like, I don't know, from a racing car or like a motorbike. But what does really mean for the scientists in the lab?
Yeah, okay. So the volume gear shift lets you switch between fast and easy modes. And maybe we dive a little bit more into the easy mode first. So with this one, you can try it. You can fine tune the volume setting. So you can set it with less resistance. And this is very, very interesting for people working with pipetting with only one hand, because they have the tube with the sample in the other one.
Yeah, I mean, right now, while you were talking, I was already looking around and trying, and I can do it easily, and it feels quite comfortable about it. And I see right now here also the fast mode. What about that?
Yeah, okay. So the fast mode is for the quick volume changes. For example, if you need to go from min to max volume, you can do this volume adjustment with fewer turns. To stay with your analogy, it's a little bit like changing or shifting into a higher gear on your bike. How about you try the difference?
Okay, yeah, let's try out. Maybe I can show like this as well while trying. So I'm right now in the 50 microliter and I'm in the fast mode. And I will just go to the lowest volume. Let's see how fast I can go. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Already in 4 turns, I was able to go to the lowest volume. That sounds very practical. And yeah, basically, that's very interesting. And I remember you also mentioned about ergonomics and shorter control button. Why are those important?
Yeah, that's right. So the control button is something you use probably most on the pipette. So this is all about comfort and accessibility. So during our customer tests here in Germany, in Dortmund, a lab manager told us that some of her colleagues could use only half of the pipette's maximum volume because they simply couldn't reach the heights of the control button. And we got similar stories from other labs. So this feedback really resonated with us, and it inspired us to redesign the control button.
So you mean that like people like me with smaller hands, that they can reach comfortably to the control button when using the Research 3 Neo, and it provides better comfort?
Exactly. So, but I would not phrase it only for smaller hands, because it is more comfortable for everyone, because the thumb does not have to travel so far.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And I do see here there's a volume lock. And what does it for?
Yeah, okay. So the volume lock is simple but super effective. Here we have to take into account that with the Research 3 Neo, the operating button has been given 2 functions now. So the first one is the pipetting itself, and the second one is the volume adjustment. And in order to avoid any accidental volume changes, we have integrated this volume lock. It's only a quick slide, and again, we have made sure that you can do that with one hand.
I see. Yeah, I can do that. And you also mentioned about temporary adjustments. Can you tell a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so this is to improve the accuracy and precision at, let's say, different conditions without, and this is important, without changing the original adjustment.
Okay, that's interesting. And maybe explain us a little bit more.
Yeah, okay. So give an example. When we look to drug testing, for example, these people are working with small volumes in narrow vessels, and in order to reach to the bottom of the vessel, they are applying elongated tips. The liquid transfer needs to be accurate, of course, but due to the higher air cushion in the elongated tip, the accuracy might be slightly off.
Okay. Maybe can you show us to understand a bit more better?
Of course, I can. I think in this case we choose the 5 ml pipette because then we can see most of it. And so I attach a standard tip, and I have set the pipette to 5 milliliters.
Okay.
And now I take a little bit of the blue dye and transfer it into the tube over there. But first we have, of course, to pre-wet. Okay, here we go. There was a pre-wetting, and now we can do the experiment. Okay, so that's it. I leave that open now because I take now an elongated tip.
Okay.
And take the liquid out again.
Okay.
Of course, first we have to pre-wet again because we have attached a new tip. So that was a pre-wetting, and now okay, I just put this back. Something what you never do in the lab. You put liquid back, right?
Yes, definitely.
So look what happened.
Wow, there's a lot of liquid remained in the vessel, right? That's impressive.
Yeah, exactly. So to understand this here, we need to understand that every pipette in the world is set by the manufacturer to work with the standard tip, not with the elongated tip. And what you see here is the difference between elongated tip and standard tip.
Ah, now I understand. So you mean that temporary adjustment is made to eliminate that error?
Exactly. So that's exactly the idea. And in order to make it as easy as possible for our customers, we have published pre-calculated values for the different pipette volumes and variants in the operating manual, so they can look that up and know what to set the adjustment for.
Okay, very interesting. And sounds like you considered a lot of customer feedback during the development. Can you tell a little bit more about it?
Yeah, sure. So it was 100% customer driven. We ran surveys and hands-on trials, and the feedback was very, very clear. So people wanted a faster volume adjustment. They wanted a better comfort for smaller hands. They were asking for a volume lock and also for an increase, or let's say ways to increase the accuracy for certain conditions, like we have just seen with the elongated tips, or also reverse pipetting, or when working with challenging liquids. So every feature from the research through NEO came directly from this feedback. And I would like to thank everyone. Not only the hundreds who have tested our pipettes, the new pipettes, but also everybody who shares valuable feedback with us, because, hey, your input really runs our innovation.
Wow, that's really amazing. And that shows us actually how customers' feedbacks are important during the development. And can you tell a little bit more about customers who tested Research Tree Neo? What did they like most about it?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of scientists said that they that the pipettes were super comfortable and easy to use. And they also mentioned that they like how effortless it was to attach tips and remove the tips. They really very much like the short button and also the very smooth piston movement. And of course, the volume gear shift also was a big hit. And this is quite interesting because we found out that some customers really prefer the fast mode because they want to speed up their workflow, while others really preferred the easy mode because they had these situations in the workflow where they have to work with just one hand. And then there were quite a few who switch between the different modes based on the tasks that they have.
Wow, interesting. Really nice. And now talking about the customers.
Yeah.
I have some practical questions to you from the field. So, for example, can I use my preferred tips with this new pipette?
Absolutely, you can. So we know that labs have their own preferences and budgets. And for this reason, the Research 3 Neo is compatible with most alternative tips, just like you know it from our other pipettes. However, we always recommend the use with Eppendorf tips.
Okay, but why Eppendorf tips are so special? And like, if I have another alternative tips, what does it matter?
Yeah, so it's all about quality. So, and maybe also about lots of these small details, like having a color coding matching with a pipette. But we always have to keep in mind that the pipette and the tip are optimized for each other. And when we as Eppendorf publish technical data, we do that for our system made of pipette and our tips, because here we know that the quality is consistent. With some alternative tips, leaks may occur or also less precise results. And for that reason, we always recommend Eppendorf tips.
Okay.
By the way, with every Research 3 Neo pipette comes a box of tips.
Okay, maybe
you can show that.
Yeah. Let's do that.
A box of tips and a reload of tips made of bio-based material. And we hope to raise the awareness for more sustainability in the labs.
Okay, I see. This is really great. And I agree, like sustainability in today's is very important topic, and we should be all advocate for it. And now talking about and showing our tips, I realize on the table we have these colorful rings. What they are for?
Yeah, color time.
Okay.
So before I answer your question, Azer, I would like to ask the audience, how do you label your pipettes? So we know that some write on the pipettes, some use stickers, and even some laboratories keep lists with serial numbers.
Yeah, I see.
And I assume all of us know how difficult it can become to get these stickers off.
Yeah, I don't want to try out.
Yeah, it doesn't look so nice afterwards, I would say, because of the remainders that stay on the surface, or also if you write on the pipettes, it's really hard to get the writing off. So the new rings actually are a very flexible. Yeah, okay. Yeah, in the Zoom, yeah. A very flexible and easy way to label your pipette. For example, by user, by experiment.
Maybe application?
Yeah, sure. Or even by calibration status. So that's also possible. Yeah. And plus, these rings are autoclavable. By the way, we call them color tags.
Color tags. Wow, that sounds amazing and really colorful. And these color tags, they are only for Research 3 Neo, or can we use for other pipettes?
Yes,
Okay.
you can use them for other pipettes. So we have them available in 6 sizes and 12 colors, and they fit most pipettes and also other tools, like, for example, dispensers. pipette helpers, or even the pipette carousel.
Yeah, that sounds very amazing, Ulrike, knowing that they can fit any pipette. And what about if I would like to personalize them? Can I write on them?
Yeah, sure, you can. These color tags are surface treated for the laboratory conditions, but they are writable. Yeah, you can write on them.
Okay, that's really amazing. I think I already asked you a lot of questions, Ulrike, and I have one last question to you. How does Research 3 Neo feels in the hand after long day pipetting? Like, did you have any customer feedback for that?
Yeah, we got. Scientists says that it was super positive, and they really liked the low operating force, and the smooth feel of the pipette really made a difference. So people told us that their hands felt less tired even after hours of pipetting. And actually, this was a really nice confirmation for us, as ergonomics is a huge focus for us.
Yeah, I see, and definitely agree. And thank you so much, Ulrike, for this lively demonstration. And as mentioned, I don't have any further questions to you.
Okay.
But let's go back to Eva, and maybe we have some questions from our customers today, and Ulrike can answer already during the live event.
Thanks, Ulrike and Azer, for your interesting live demo and useful explanations. Very, very, very interesting. Now we will move on to a few questions from the audience. And the first question I have is from Frank, and he says it looks great, the pipette. And he asks, is it also suitable for left-handed users?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Frank. So yes, it is usable for left-handed users. You can use it with either hand. The most challenging part normally is the volume display, and it's constructed in a way that you can read it from both sides. So you can use it with left-handed or right-handed. It doesn't matter.
Thank you. Then we have another question from Granda. What level of uncertainty is associated with the volumetric measurement at the lower point? Has it improved compared to previous models?
Yeah, so probably the question focus the error limits that we have and that we provide with the technical specifications. And here we can say that it is as good as Research Plus or even better.
Thank you. Another question from Granda. Do the new models feature narrow tips that allow for insertion into tight or narrow tubes?
Yeah, so I have addressed that. So Granda, thank you for that question. You can, as said before, you can use the tips that you have used before also for the Research Plus or Explorer or Reference 2 pipettes. So we did not change the dimension of the cones, so you can use exactly the same tips.
Great, thank you. Then we have Frank again. Is it easy to disassemble the Research 3 Neo as my other Eppendorf pipettes?
Yeah, I know that customers very much like the way how you can disassemble the pipettes. Yes, we have kept that because we knew how much customers like it. And for that reason, we have kept this system. So all pipettes from Eppendorf have the same system, regardless if it's Explorer, Research Plus, Reference 2, or Research 3 Neo. So you don't have to learn a new way of disassembling. So, and it is as easy as it was before.
Sounds great. Then we have Anna. She asked a question about sustainability. My company has new sustainability goals. How can how you can help us with this. How sustainable is the new pipette?
Okay, that's a great question. Thank you, Anna. So the pipette itself carries the ACT label from My Green Lab, which highlights sustainable products. It is made using 100% renewable energy. And Azer, maybe, do we have a box?
Yeah.
Somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Because we have to talk about the packaging. So we have reduced the packaging size. So in here is the pipette together with the box of tips and the reload. Thank you. We have also increased the recycled content of the material, and we succeeded in cutting down on plastic packaging. So we really focused on helping the labs to meet their sustainability goals.
Excellent. And now the last question from Frank. Is the pipette also fully autoclavable?
Yeah, it is. And you even don't need to take something apart, like you know it from Research Plus or Reference 2. You can place the whole pipette into the autoclave. But if you have other wishes regarding sterilization, you can also use UV sterilization or hydrogen peroxide vapor. So whatever works best for your lab.
Sounds very good. Thank you. Thanks, Ulrike and Azer, for answering the questions and for your clarifications about how to work with the new Pipette Research 3 Neo.
That brings us to the end of today's live demo. But before we finish, I'd like to thank you all once again for joining us today. And of course, a special thank you to our speakers, Ulrike, Gast, and Azer Bolte, for delivering such an informative and engaging session. It's been a pleasure. And before we say goodbye, just a quick reminder to check out our website for upcoming webinars. And if you would like to stay informed about the latest news and future sessions, please follow us on our social media channels such as LinkedIn or YouTube. So we wish you a great afternoon. Goodbye.